Celebrities' massive fortunes can start to vanish for a number of reasons, including tax troubles, legal woes, and frequent over-the-top spending. I'm your host Michaela, let's get into it. In the comments below, name one celebrity who you know has lost all their financial worth in Hollywood. Taking our 10th spot is Johnny Depp. According to just about every published outlet, our favorite Pirates actor was an overspender. Having more than 3.5 decades of working credits under his belt, of course it's hard for some to conjure up a bigger star than Johnny. His artistry is proven through iconic 90s films like What's Eating Gilbert Grape and Edward Scissorhands, but his beloved role in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise as Captain Jack Sparrow catapulted him to massive bouts of fame. Johnny brought in an impressive $20 million salary per movie, however his commanding box office earnings haven't always amounted to his bright star power. In 2015 and 2016, Forbes named Johnny the most overpaid actor in Hollywood for 2 consecutive years. So it may be less surprising to know that Johnny began running into financial issues through extravagant spending, not limited to a $3 million Canon shoot of journalist Hunter S. Thompson's ashes, lavish purchases stacked up, and purchases of approximately $30,000 on wine every month. Then we have the $25 million lawsuit that the actor settled in 2019, in which he made claims that his ex-management group was mismanaging his funds. Obviously, everybody also knows about his involvement in the very public and messy defamation battle with his ex-wife Amber Heard. Still, it has been noted that Johnny makes more than enough cash to fall back on. According to reports from this year, Johnny's current net worth remains at $150 million. Smash the notification bell to keep receiving updates about all your favorite celebrities here on Where Are They Now. Taking our 9th spot is Shia LaBeouf. Honestly, I know everyone knows about Shia's quote-unquote erratic behavior. More so, a lot of his fans continuously search for what is going on with him, leading non-fans to believe he's taken more than just one wrong turn throughout the length of his career, and he's only in his 30s. Back when Shia began as Hollywood's next big deal, he was in between his transition from being a Disney Channel child star to a blockbuster heavyweight, taking on roles in the Transformers franchise, Disturbia, and Indiana Jones. However, due to a stark plummeting of his behavior, which began increasing in 2012, multiple sources were sure Shia was spiraling into an oncoming breakdown. Wild public stunts like walking red carpets with paper bags over his head, and his organization of intense live art exhibits displayed that Shia was not living like the typical Hollywood celeb. Yet, if you compare him to some of the others who've made today's list, you'll find that his finances haven't been as heavily impacted as most, especially since his reported net worth sits greatly at $25 million as of this year. However, this doesn't mean he's bringing in much anymore either, as his public shaming of Hollywood and his growing negative reputation for odd behavior continues to intercept his fortune from expanding as it has years beforehand. I.e., Shia's starring Man Down film only had 1 ticket sold for its opening weekend in the UK. Taking our 8th spot is Kelly Rutherford. Kelly landed on our countdown due to legal battles. The actress first launched the beginning of her career through the 80s soap opera Generations and has seen steady work since. Her most recent on-screen credit belongs to the 2nd volume of Star's hit show Power. However, she gained the most popularity from her role as Lily Vanderwoodson on CW's successful series Gossip Girl. Still, her net worth doesn't exactly amount to her overall success because of the legal troubles she faced years ago. Back in 2013, Kelly revealed she was left penniless after a grueling 5-year divorce and lengthy custody battle with her ex-husband Daniel Giersch. According to Vanity Fair, the number of funds put into travel expenses to see her kids, who were relocated to Germany to live with their father, mixed in with her legal fees, pretty much forced the actress to declare bankruptcy. In the wake of her financial issues, Kelly managed to rebuild her net worth back up to $1 million, and it's seemingly held its place there since 2015. Taking our 7th spot is Lindsay Lohan. There was a time when everyone's favorite mean girl lost everything due to her worsening reputation and IRS debt. Previously branded as the quote poster child for the dark side of fame, Lindsay is an actress who got a strong start in the industry due to her earliest breakthrough part in The Parent Trap and her additions to hit films like Freaky Friday and Mean Girls. However, it wasn't much longer before Lindsay bagged a reputation for being difficult to work with, including her being reprimanded by film executive James G. Robinson, who was the head of the production company that produced Georgia Rule, Lindsay's 2007 film. Despite the millions she's made as an actress, recording artist, and model, Lindsay's personal and legal troubles ate at a hefty portion of her net worth. In 2012, the IRS seized the actress's bank account and claimed the reported $233,000 she owed in taxes. The result left Lindsay near broke, and she only managed to raise her net worth to $800,000 at the time, most likely from her new stuff and her 3-deal contract for Netflix's upcoming and post-production projects. Reports state Lindsay's new net worth is $1,500,000. Taking our 6th spot is Michael Jackson. This iconic late legend and king of pop reportedly reportedly lost a ton of money through legal debt and overspending. His rise and fall have been heavily documented as one of the biggest celebs in the world, both alive and deceased, though the focus is typically directed at his legal issues rather than his financial ones. Michael transitioned from one of the most beloved artists of all time, earning up to $1 million per year, to a public figure who passed with a bad reputation. But how did this even occur? Well, his fortune was deteriorating from his real estate spending, not limited to his millions of dollars in purchases for Neverland, and Michael funding an amount of $65 million to art projects. Mix that in with his never-ending legal fees to curb the scandal he was heavily embroiled in, and his finances took a big hit of $20 million as per Celebrity Net Worth. Despite its rather negative impact when he died, Michael's brand continues to remain superior. The rebuilding of his legacy places his posthumous net worth at $500 million, with a current annual gross earning of $825 million, keeping him among the circle of the world's most lucrative and popular celebrities even after his death. Taking our fifth spot is Heidi Montag. Heidi's overspending habits managed to swipe her net worth heavily, but before this, the reality star gained popularity as Lauren Conrady's frenemy on The Hills, as well as through her romantic involvement with co-star Spencer Pratt. Her fortune was accumulated from her 4-year run on the TV series and by making other appearances on reality shows like Celebrity Wife Swap. At the peak of their careers, Heidi and Spencer had a combined fortune of $10 million. Despite this, some of Heidi's business ventures were unsuccessful. Superficial, Heidi's debut album, failed to break her out into the music industry, selling under 1,000 digital copies in first week sales and seeing a mere peak at 41 on Billboard's Heat Seekers. Including her lavish spending, mostly known as her $2 million clothes and handbags collection, Heidi's personal net worth has been eaten away. Since 2021, Heidi and Spencer's combined net worth dropped to a startling $300,000. Taking our fourth spot is TLC's T.O.N.T. Boz Watkins and Rosanda Chili Thomas. This former girl group turned duo scored our fourth spot due to the debt they faced alongside being underpaid. Imagine my shock when I discovered that one of my favorite girl groups ever sold over 10 million albums and had absolutely nothing to show for it. The members famously discovered that they were broke even after the massive success that came from their 1994 Crazy Sexy Cool album. In a 2007 documentary centered around her life, the late Lisa Left Eye Lopez, third and final former member of TLC, broke down the earnings of each member, explaining how they only received $300,000 from the album because of recording studio fees, taxes, and record company cuts or profits. So even though TLC eventually saw more than 65 million albums sold worldwide, it didn't fully translate into fortunes for them. Despite being a member of the best-selling American girl group of all time, T.O.N. was forced to declare bankruptcy for the second time in 2011, harboring over $1 million in debt. Her current prolonged net worth peaks at $1.5 million. As for Rosanda, her net worth still sits a little higher than her bandmate, as she maintains $8 million. Taking our third spot is Mike Tyson. Mike's divorce and imprisonment are to blame for why he lost it all. Through his icon status as an American boxer, this is where Mike began bagging his riches, even becoming so popular that he inspired a Nintendo video game. However, his fall from fortune to misfortune was deep, as his once formidable boxing career was taking hit after hit. Starting from the late 80s, Mike was struggling with both legal and personal issues. Through his divorce process, Mike became out of shape and his bright superstar image began to fade. His sexual violence charges not too long after landed him 3 years in federal prison from a 10-year sentence. When he seemed to be making a comeback in his return to boxing, his 1997 infamous incident of biting off a chunk of his opponent's ear happened. 5 years following this, Mike filed for bankruptcy and in 2005 announced his retirement shortly after. Mike has seen a small rise since the struggle, as he accumulated a reported $3 million from multiple media gigs, like a role in Tyler Perry's A Medea's Family Funeral and the animation series Mike Tyson Mysteries. As of November 2020, Mike has an estimated net worth of $10 million. Taking our second spot is MC Hammer, who saw a hit in his finances from IRS debt and overspending. Being the one-hit wonder of them all, Hammer landed his success as a pop rap musician through his massive hit You Can't Touch This. The single was the first by a rap artist to touch Billboard's coveted diamond status. MC was also responsible for the popularization of shiny harem pants, best known as Hammer Pants. Hammer's hit song gained him some serious profit, earning a reported $3 million during his peak success in 1991. However, his over-the-top purchases of airplanes, luxury cars, a built-from-scratch $30 million home sold for less than $7 million, and a record company dug into his pockets deeply. Hammer's filing for bankruptcy came about in 1996, and he remained in debt to the IRS for the following 20 years. Even though his current net worth is $2 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth, the government was still owed $800,000 in December 2013. In 2020, Mike remains at a net worth of $2 million US. Taking our first spot is Gary Busey. Like a lot of the others today, Gary lost fortunes due to tax debt. As an actor whose career spreads over 5 decades, Gary doesn't have a lot of riches to back it up. Originally, Gary came up through films like Point Break and Lightfoot, as well as TV classics like Texas Rangers. But regardless of his accumulated success, Gary filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy back in 2017. He made claims that he was over $500,000 in debt. Over the last year, however, Gary has spun his finances around a bit, holding on to a net worth of $500,000 that has remained that way ever since. That's been today's WATN. Thanks for watching, friends.